Hey everybody, Jake here. I'm the CEO of Digital Impact. For those of you who don't know who we are one of the fastest growing digital marketing agencies in the country. We help small to medium-sized businesses really grow their brand online and help them really achieve their goals. Today, what I'm going to talk about is something that is so important. I don't care if you're doing $1,000 in revenue or $100,000 in revenue. This is something that is very crucial to your brand, so make sure to pay attention and watch this video to the end. Today's topic is about brand stories. This is something that is it's often overlooked or misinterpreted. Your brand story is the difference between a successful business and an unsuccessful business. I'm going to tell you a really quick story. I was in Virginia a couple months ago, and I have some family that lives down there. My uncle, there's a lot of ethnic food out there. So I was asking my uncle, hey, where should I eat? What's good? What's not? And what he told me was, oh, there's this awesome Cajun spot. You have to check it out. These people, they moved here from Iraq or some Middle Eastern country. They moved here from the Middle East, and there was not really any Middle Eastern food, but they fell in love with Cajun food. It was something that they really enjoyed, and it completely shifted their whole culture. So rather than opening a Middle Eastern restaurant, which they wanted to do, they ended up opening this Cajun spot, and now it's one of the most popular restaurants in the area. That right there is a good brand story. I mean, there's missing components, but he remembered it. And that is the reason that I ended up going to this Cajun spot, and the reason that he remembered it and told me about it. If it was just a regular Cajun spot, I probably would never have heard of it. But since they have a good brand story, people remember it. So basically, moral of the story is a brand story is what people are going to remember you by. And this is why some people are so effective and others are not. So when you think brand story, think about, like, whether you like them or not, think about the Kardashians. The Kardashians are amazing at telling an ongoing brand story. That's why they're so popular. People are engaged, and it's like a movie. People want to know what's going to happen next, and there's all this, drama being built up, and people want to follow them to continue to see what's going on in their life because it's engaging. And as a result of that, people come to them. They don't have to really, everything they do is advertising, but they're not paying for ads. People come to them, not the other way around. And that's what I want you to start doing at the end of this video. That's the shift that I'm going to make in your business with this video, is people are going to start coming to you because you're going to be really interesting. So there's some key components to a good brand story. Number one, there has to be character development. When you think character development, think about like the Geico lizard. I don't know why this light is blinking. I'm going to fix that. I apologize. But think about the Geico lizard, or the Wendy's girl, or the Michelin tire man, or Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't know if that's a brand, but those are character developments. People bond a lot better with people or characters than they do a brand. And that's why big companies have a face of the brand, like Jared for Subway, for example. It didn't work out too well, but for a while it did. And when Jared left, Subway's sales almost got cut in half. And the reason being is because people connected with Jared. That was a good brand story. He lost all this weight for going to Subway. So number one, has to be character development. Number two, there has to be conflict. So if you were to watch a movie and it was just, I really like Game of Thrones. I'm watching it for the second time. Let's do Game of Thrones. Let's say Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryen just, waddled across the sea in a raft, and it was all great and they loved it, and there were no dragons, and, the other people handed her the throne. And that was it. That's boring as... I don't think I can swear on here. That's really boring, just in case there's little kids watching. But that's really boring and no one would watch the show. But instead, there was all this conflict, all this fighting, and it created drama. The human brain, we are physically wired to focus on drama. Reason being is because if we're, let's say we're back in the caveman days and there's a tiger outside fighting with the leader of your tribe, if you don't pay attention to that tiger, you're probably going to die. So we are hardwired in, it's in our brain to pay attention to conflict. Obviously, we don't have to worry about tigers these days, but our brains are still pretty much the same as they were 1,000 years ago. So conflict draws people in. The conflict is really going to get people engaged. So you have a character or multiple characters, and you're going to be developing these characters throughout, the time you're in business, and you have the conflict. So you have character, conflict, and now typically you want to come to some sort of wall, okay? So you hit this wall and you just can't, like my wall was when I was selling solar panels door to door, and I woke up just dreading going to work because it was just so tough door knocking, and I was spending all this money on ads and I couldn't make it work. And, I started to go, I was getting poor, and it was tough. So that's the wall. Everyone has a wall. If you don't have one, don't lie, but you can sort of fabricate it a little bit just to add some extra oomph to your conflict. You hit the wall, and then you want to have a big discovery, all right? So first you introduce your character, then you introduce conflict, or sometimes vice versa. It's good to introduce conflict in the beginning as well. Then you introduce your character. Your character's going through all this conflict and then hits a wall. And then you come to a big realization, something simple. So or the Cajun place, the realization could have been or it was, oh my God, we loved Cajun food. It was so good. So the realization should make it somewhat easy too. You want your prospect, the wall should be what your prospect is feeling now, and then the realization should be something somewhat simple that your prospect can really grab, okay? And then you start a slow progression of moving things forward. So the Cajun place could be, we hit this wall, we were poor, when we came to the States, we didn't know what to do. And then we tried this Cajun food, and we realized that's what we were meant to be on this earth for, was Cajun food. That's our specialty. So we started with a simple little hot dog stand type of thing. And income started rolling in. That's, you're slowly creeping up towards resolution. And then, drop my pen. And then as you're creeping up, then you have this big realization. So, and it doesn't have to be in this specific order. You could be missing and matching some different elements, but this is just typically the way you want to do it. So you have this big realization about how easy it is, and you just missed this out because everyone wants things now and they want things to be easy. So you want to include this if possible. It was so easy. All I realized was I just was doing Facebook ads wrong. I was trying to go to conversions right away when I needed to introduce myself first. Big realization, it was so easy, so simple. And then that's when things take off and skyrocket. And that's where big resolutions come to the story and the conflict kind of starts to end. And then you can start bringing in mission statements and values in that. And then that's also a good place to start adding testimonials. So, okay, we had this big resolution, things skyrocketed, and then we started working with X client, and we taught him the same thing. And he went through the same exact skyrocket in his income. And now our goal is to help millions of other companies do exactly what we did, because we don't want them to feel the way that we did when we hit that wall and we thought that there was no way out. Trust us, there is a way out, and we can help you do that. That's a good brand story. And a brand story is the difference between, a failing company and a company that's going to do really, really, really well. Make sure to have a good brand story. It should be on your website. And if you can't figure out a way to do it, you want that brand story to be ongoing. That's when we come back to the Kardashians. They are so good at telling an ongoing brand story. Every single social media post, which by the way, you should be posting roughly 3 times a week if possible. I know it's kind of tough sometimes, but make sure every social media post should continue that character development. I know it's tough. You're kind of camera shy at first. I've been there, but you want to show your personality and really develop those characters within your brand. And you want to always tie it back into that mission statement, or just tell that ongoing story. It will make a big difference in your business to have a good brand story, because it's going to be something that people remember you by. Let's go back to the Cajun Place. If they didn't have that brand story, my uncle would not have told me about the Cajun Place, and I would not have gone to eat there, and they would not have gotten my business. But because they had a solid brand story, they earned my business, and I'm sure that there's hundreds of other people that were in the same position as me that heard about their brand story and decided to go with them. It also creates an emotional connection with the customer. People buy based on emotions, and when you're building up all this conflict, your ideal prospect is going to identify with that conflict. Okay, you want the conflict to be, you want to like stage it in a way that really will resonate with your ideal prospect. So when you're thinking about developing the conflict, make sure that it's something your ideal prospect is going through right now, because that's going to create such a tight emotional bond, and you're going to build an immediate sense of rapport with your audience. So I hope this helps, guys. Make sure to incorporate a brand story, okay? Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be putting out, there's so much, like, it's the blind leading the blind these days with marketing and entrepreneurship in general. There's so much bad information that, you know, if you don't subscribe to this channel and you're watching other people, it could be good. There is good content out there, but oftentimes it's conflicting and you get confused. And just make sure to really engage with this so you can get as much value as you can. I've spent tens and tens, maybe like so much money learning all of this stuff, and I'm putting it out to you for free. Nowhere else can you get this type of content. Make sure to subscribe. Do me a personal favor to hit the like button. When this video is being recorded, this YouTube channel is somewhat new, and hitting the like button really helps my video get shown to other people, and I really want to help you guys. There's, like I said, there's so much misinformation. Schools don't teach this. This is something that we need. We need to help other entrepreneurs out and share this info. So hit that like button, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave the question below in the comments section. I will get back to you. Sometimes things pile up and I can't get back right away, but I will. I promise you. Leave a question in the comments, and thanks for watching.